This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk. Good Tuesday afternoon to you. Welcome into Focus, Relentless Positive Radio. It is Tuesday, July 7th, as we approach 12:05. May I be the first to say good afternoon. Hope you've had a great start to the week, and it's getting better by the day. We have the team together. Mike Parsons, executive producer, Danielle Mason, the queen of the switches, Rich Luzinski, WJR traffic and weather first. You can stream us. You can podcast us. Come back and podcast us if you can't stay from noon till 2. It's all found at WJR.com or on the free WJR app. Facebook, YouTube pages are streaming our video live right now, as you're on your way to making each and every day count, because each day is a gift. And I do want to thank you for making the decision to choose to be with us, an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. I'm just going over some stuff. I had other stuff I wanted to start with, but this is important. You know, the Michigan parasitic illness has spread to 681 people, and we still aren't finding out where it's coming from. Supposedly, it does not spread from people to people. So how can I prevent getting sick from this parasite? MDHHS issued an updated recommendation to prevent this slycosporiasis, whatever we had it. The other day we had somebody on who could pronounce it properly and tell us what to do. But I'm reminding you, this applies to anyone who is preparing, processing, or serving raw produce, including restaurants and commercial kitchens. Man, that's something you have to worry about if you go out to eat. Avoid pre-washed, bagged lettuce or salad mixes. Instead, buy a whole head of lettuce, throw away the outer 2 or 3 layers of leaves, and thoroughly wash the inner leaves under running water. Thoroughly wash herbs such as cilantro and basil under running water. Separate the leaves as you wash them. Trim the root end and remove the outer layer of green onions, which also are known as scallions. Once that's done, wash them thoroughly under running water. Consider using frozen raspberries rather than fresh to reduce risk. The fruit's bumpy surface makes raspberries especially difficult to clean. The parasite can hide in its tiny crevices. Freezing may reduce the risk, but the health department warns it does not guarantee the fruit won't be contaminated. Rub the surface of snow peas while washing them under running water. This is crazy. So it's all about washing your produce, things you wouldn't have thought generally could cause trouble. Usually it's meat or something like that, but these are fresh vegetables and fruits. Wash hands with soap and water before and after handling or preparing food. There it goes back to Grandpa Harry's wash your paws. I think washing your hands often with soap and water is an excellent way to try to prevent a lot of different problems and illnesses. So bear that in mind. And again, we're reminded to wash our hands. Or
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, she can go listen on the podcast if she missed that.
I hate to break this to she has no hands, so she doesn't have to wash her hands. But I had my phone all tied up into my headphone wire, and I was trying to change it quietly. And then, of course, I realized you cannot.
You were doing a good job until your phone ratted you out. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. A couple of things here. Other things that I thought I would start with until that broke. It just broke. It's World Chocolate Day.
And I don't think you can get cyclosporiasis from chocolate, as far as I've heard.
As far as I know, as far as I know, that's not a problem. But you can get a lot of good benefits. Research highlights that dark chocolate contains unique antioxidants and flavonols that boost circulation, stimulate endorphins, and activate the neurochemistry of joy. So the fact is, dark chocolate should not be avoided. It's actually should be embraced.
You still putting it in your coffee every day?
Coffee. Still have a scoop. The hardest thing is finding the real dark chocolate.
Right, because there's a lot of things that are labeled dark chocolate and it's
or
mixed.
Chocolate flavored or whatever. You need the real dark chocolate, and you don't need to have to pay an arm and a leg. And now that they're catching on the health benefits, some people are charging an arm and a leg for all of that. But anyway, it is World Chocolate Day. Look into it. Don't just take my word. Google the benefits. It's something. Kim is up in arms because she can't still believe this goes on today because it's such a barbaric tradition. She says, I bet even Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, our friend, would agree this tradition has to go. Or as she puts it, adios, because what she's talking about is Spain's Running of the Bulls Festival, which has opened in Pamplona. You know, our own Mitch Albom ran with the Bulls.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I've heard the story a couple times.
Yeah, he ran with the Bulls and lived to tell about it. I'm certain he would not do it again. But they do it, and it's a mess. They pour grape juice and wine all over their bodies. The people that do this are nuts, and many of them get hurt. Occasionally, some of them get killed.
Right, good way to get gored.
And the Bulls always end up dead. So,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The Bulls always end up dead. Let's see. On this day, in 1928, pre-sliced bread was sold for the first time. 1928, first time people had pre-sliced bread, and it was prepared by the Chillicothe Baking Company in Chillicothe, Missouri, using a revolutionary bread slicing machine invented by Otto Frederick Rohwetter. There's not a name that comes to mind very quickly.
Oh, you're talking about the old Rohwetter bread slicer, eh?
Yeah. Ever since then, any great consumer advance is measured against the invention of...
Greatest thing since sliced bread.
There you are. Sliced bread.
And now we know when that started. So it's the greatest thing since 1928.
1928. First time with the sliced bread. President loves announcements. He announced that there's going to be a helipad at the White House.
Right. A granite helipad, right? Because
it's got to be only the best.
Because the new Marine One is going to be too strong. It's going to be the strongest.
Powerful.
Yeah,
it's going to be the most powerful helicopter ever. And that's no reference to how it has to be strong to lift him since he's put those pounds on. So anyway, so there's going to be a helipad, and actually it makes sense. Anywhere you land helicopters all the time, you probably need a helipad.
Right.
Our old friend Stephen Luigi Piazza. Finally, this gets to me. Every year it doesn't get to me because it's gone to the wrong email for me. The Shamrock 555 Foundation having the 8th annual golf outing, August 8th at Cherry Creek Golf Course for the beloved Stephen Luigi Piazza and for the foundation Left Behind. This event, Thursday, August 6th. Golf is fully sold out, but there are still several ways to be a part of the special day and help continue Stephen Luigi Piazza's legacy of giving back to the community. He was one of the sweetest men I ever knew. We worked together happily and were friends, and it still hurts to know
he was a
that
co-host
he
of
is
yours,
gone.
right, Paul?
Yep. We did that show. What's the show? Ann still does it.
Opportunity Detroit.
Opportunity Detroit. That's it. So, yeah, it's hard to even remember. It's just painful to remember. But you can go to, where can they go? The problem with a lot of these, they think everyone's got the email. I got the email. Nobody else has the email that I'm telling about it right now. But it's the Shamrock Foundation. If you Google around, I'm sure you're going to find Shamrock 555, Stephen Luigi Piazza Foundation.
That's exactly what it is, shamrock555.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's exactly good, and I appreciate you finding that so quickly. You're so good. Even Kim mentioned, boy, Mike Parsons, you say something, he's already checking it online, and I appreciate that.
Only if you're looking for it.
The swimmers are diving in to make waves to fight cancer. It's the 8th annual Swim Across America Motor City Mile on July 10th. This one has the way to get in touch, swimacrossamerica.org. And it's coming to Detroit. It's going to be on that Friday, July 10th, the Belle Isle Beach House. And people get involved in this and help raise funds and awareness for cancer. So I wanted to make sure I got that out there. Now, I have something else, but because of the illness thing I had to do, it's fascinating. Freedom Plane brings rare founding documents to the Henry Ford Museum. Our friend Ray Templin is now an official old goat. Do you know what that means? It has to do with sailing and being in so many races, you become an old goat.
Usually GOAT stands for greatest of all time.
Well, this is I don't think they say that for this. It's just old goat. Maybe we should get him on to talk about it. But then there's another thing I wanted to talk about. We'll talk in one of our breaks here. Real luxuries of adult life.
I'm
going to run them by you and Danielle.
All right. That sounds fun.
Yeah. All right. 12:14, almost 12:15. We're underway for this Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. Relentless Positive Radio. Focus with Paul W. Smith and the team. Glad we're together.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with WeatherSeal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At WeatherSeal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to WeatherSeal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at WeatherSeal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at WeatherSeal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Hi, it's Paul W. Let's talk about the roof on your home. A lot of you will need to replace your roof this summer, but be forewarned. There are roofing companies out there that skip over the most important part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if your attic doesn't have proper air circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and wood rot, leaks in the winter, not to mention higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I recommend Victor's Home Solutions to my listeners. Their process begins with a free 21-point roof inspection that includes a thorough inspection of your attic. They know that if the ventilation isn't right, the roof will be built on a shaky foundation. Every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and estimate today. 866-VICTORS, 866-VICTORS, or Victors.com.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found the Brooks Night Guard. You mold it at home to the top or bottom teeth. Other mouth guards go all the way to the back, which allows the back teeth to touch. This is where most of the grinding and clenching occurs. The Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Order your Brooks Night Guard today and get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to brooksnightguard.com and enter the code BRUX91. That's BRUX91.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
Weingarts, everything from lawn to snow.
Hi, I'm Dan Weingarts. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingarts for expert advice. That's why we stand behind Cub Cadet outdoor power equipment, built for strength, control, and reliable performance across every season. Stop by our stores or visit us at Weingarts.com, where our experts help you choose the right Cub Cadet equipment for your lawn. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingarts way.
Listen in for the Cranes Detroit interview with Mike Lee every Monday morning on JR Morning. Brought to you in partnership with Mercantile Bank. Looking for a new business bank? Mercantile can help drive your business forward. Learn more at mercbank.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
An accident blocks your two right lanes on I-275 southbound after 8 Mile. You're slow from I-696. We still have that wreck on Telegraph Road at West Road. Traffic signals are malfunctioning on Ford Road in both directions at Inkster, and the railway gate on Beck Road between M14 and 5 Mile, stuck in the down position. Please use Sheldon Road as a detour for the time being. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today with a high of 85. Right now it's 83 degrees, partly cloudy for tonight, a low of 67. More sun for tomorrow, a high near 90. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Wednesday on JR Morning, we'll talk with Kristen McDonald-Rivet. She's got a plan to stop public officials from using their position for insider trading. And it's Wednesday, so we'll put on our dancing shoes for Name That Tune right here from 6 until 9 a.m. on WJR, WJR.com, and the always free WJR app.
Well, thank you to Keith Newell. He spelled it out for me. This is kind of a Bayview Yacht Club thing. And our Ray, the engineer, Ray Templin, when he gets a chance, and he doesn't get that much time because he's working all the time, he has now done 25 Port Huron to Mackinac races, which makes him an old goat. So congratulations, Ray, on that. That's quite an achievement. Now he's aiming for Grand Ram, which means 50 Mackinac races. And again, Keith Newell, thanks for the update on this. And it's kind of a Bayview Yacht Club, which, by the way, Bayview is a beautiful club for sure. Also, I want to tell you in a little bit, we'll tell you how you might be entitled to a $40 a day outage credit for those of you with power outages. We also want to talk about the World Cup with USA having its worst game at the worst time. Good news, President is staying at MSU. We'll get into that and a whole bunch of other things. Right now, we're getting into Jason Rowe, the principal of Rowe Strategic, as Speaker Johnson calls on Congress to restrict birthright citizenship. This is what the president said. There was a way around the Supreme Court ruling. And I think it's not a bad idea to take a look at birthright tourism, which kind of devalues our citizenship. And let's talk a little bit about that. Jason Rowe, principal of Rowe Strategic. Good afternoon, Jason. Always a pleasure.
Paul W., thanks for having me.
When the founding fathers and the framers and everybody talked about all these things, there was never a thought that somebody would make a business out of saying, hey, I'm going to deliver you into the United States so you can give birth and automatically have birthright citizenship. And so there's nothing wrong with looking at this.
Well, 250 years ago, we were not quite the mobile people that mankind is today. So I think you're exactly right that anticipating the idea that someone might randomly come visit the United States, which, could take a full, a year to get to and fro for that kind of birth tourism. Listen, I think the court's ruling was the correct one based on how broad the Trump policy was in that regard. But I also think in the dissent, you saw some of the justices who spoke to the fact that there are some ways to maybe limit the right to American citizenship by virtue of birth. And I think some of the language that might be appropriate is legislatively, this could be done with simple majorities. We would not have to amend the Constitution, which would require 2/3 in both the House and the Senate, as well as 3/4 of the state legislatures to ratify. So not only is that a Herculean lift, it would take, many, many years to accomplish. But you could legislatively maybe define within that some limitations that people under the jurisdiction of the United States, so that it is not someone that just happens to be in the country and gives birth and thereby creates a quote unquote American citizen with little to no allegiance to our country.
No surprise here, Jason Rowe, that the Republicans and Democrats are split on this and disagree about the importance. For example, Ted Cruz says, the Republican, it's a blatant abuse of immigration laws, while Senator Peter Welch, a Democrat, says it's a pretty marginal issue. And the numbers are in dispute. The number of babies born to birth tourists in the U.S. highly disputed, because the government doesn't keep track of those figures, but the estimates from researchers have varied from as high as 39,000 annually, which is a significant number, to as low as 2,000 annually. So we don't really know. It may not be one of the most important things to hang your hat on, but it is something that indeed could be looked at, and for whatever reason has become an extremely important cause to the President of the United States and those who want to curry favor and please him. So I don't know where that's going next. I'll tell you where they've made a mistake, the Democrats, hugely. And now they're going to try to fix it. And I think, for me, it's way too late that they have been supporting this embattled Maine Senate candidate, Graham Platner scumbag. And now, a week before they have to pull the plug, now people are turning on him because yet another bad story has come out regarding a rape. But there have been plenty of bad stories that we didn't want a United States senator being that kind of person.
Well, the disqualifying signs for Graham Platner were revealed months ago, and that did not stop people like, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna from championing this guy and defending him as being in some way changed. I mean, I don't know, what constitutes disqualification in politics anymore, and frankly, that extends to both parties in many regards.
Right.
But this guy
we've had losers on both sides of the aisle.
Absolutely have. Well, but this guy was clearly a dirtbag. But and quite frankly, Susan Collins is one of the most liberal, mainstream Republican senators of my lifetime. I mean, she is not a part of the problem in Washington. She's been a very effective and respected and bipartisan U.S. senator. And so this is nothing more than power for the Democrats. And I think all of them now distancing themselves after embracing him, already knowing what we had known about him, that they are culpable. Now, they have until July 11th to replace him on the ballot if he resigns as a candidate. Even though it seems to be that he's moving in that direction, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he doesn't decide after a little reflection that he thinks he can weather this storm. And he has been competitive in polling, even with all of the terrible stories that preceded this one. So again, it's kind of surprising to me that this had to be the tipping point, given the tipping point should have been reached many, many months ago.
So beautifully
put.
put.
This is a huge problem for Democrats.
So beautifully put. Now Sanders is calling for him to exit the race. The other guy that you mentioned, Ro Khanna, his name is out there. He has rescinded his endorsement. It's very odd when we have a guy that's running for one of the highest and most exclusive offices in the land is either going to become a United States senator or go to prison for rape. It's going to be one or the other. And he's probably right now trying to think of how he can fend off that charge and those charges and avoid going to prison, and wondering if it's better to be a United States senator fighting not to go to prison or just a regular guy. That might go into some
you can
of his
set up
thinking.
a legal defense fund in order to do that. So it would surprise me if he stayed in, if only protect himself financially on any legal defense.
Yeah, good point. Jason, it's always a pleasure. How's business? Okay.
I'm actually standing on set with Congressman Tom Barrett in Ingham County, filming some ads today. We're having fun.
Oh, good for you. Jason Rowe, principal of Rowe Strategic, here in Focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR at 1228. Quality health care is something uniquely personal and essential to each of us, quality health care. But quality and cost do go together, because the cost of health care impacts the affordability of health insurance and the healthcare decisions we make, whether we're managing our family's budget or running a business. We need healthcare to be affordable, and we need information to understand why costs keep rising. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan has been sharing helpful information, and why the rallying cry of Tricia Keith, President and CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, is Affordability matters. Affordability matters. I want you to look at this helpful information that Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan has been sharing at mibluedaily.com/affordability. MI, like in Michigan, bluedaily.com/affordability. It makes clear how upstream costs in an expensive system of hospitals, doctors, and drug makers end up downstream in our health insurance premiums. And it helps highlight the solutions Blue Cross is bringing forward, like partnering with every part of the healthcare system, improving quality of care, developing lower-priced prescription drug therapies, reducing its own administrative costs by $420 million while improving its products and services. Learn more about everything Blue Cross is doing at mibluedaily.com/affordability. That's mibluedaily.com/affordability. And that hard work is paying off by the family at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Once again, J.D. Power awarding them #1 in customer satisfaction, 3rd year in a row. Way to go. 1230, 760, WJR.
Hi, Jim Harper here. You know what one of the hottest trends for seniors is these days? Independent living. Yeah, a lot of people are doing it. We're not talking about moving into a nursing home. We're talking about Rose Senior Living in Farmington Hills and the wonderful life they have waiting for you. If you're 55 and up and the house or condo you're in is just too big, maybe the kids are gone, independent living at Rose Senior Living is like being in a 5-star hotel. I was impressed with how modern and high-tech it was. It's a community with people just like you who are having the time of their lives. They have over 300 organized activities every month. Call them at 248-522-2460. Make an appointment to check them out or visit them only at farmingtonhills.roseseniorliving.com. Rose Senior Living, family-owned and operated, feels like family, feels like home. At Rose Independent Senior Living.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with WeatherSeal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At WeatherSeal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to WeatherSeal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at WeatherSeal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at WeatherSeal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
America 250, Michigan made.
She grew up in a Detroit church where Sunday morning sounded like a thunderstorm of soul and spirit.
You're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel.
From the pulpit to the piano, her voice carried a country's hopes and heart.
Like a natural woman.
And when America needed a soundtrack for change, she gave it one.
You make me feel. You make me feel like a natural.
She turned gospel fire into soul anthems, blending church, blues, and pop into something unmistakably American. Her songs fill radios, records, and living rooms, reminding people what freedom and possibility were supposed to feel like. She would become the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a voice of a generation, a daughter of Detroit, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
America 250, Michigan made. From 760 WJR.
America's maritime remains core to our security and self-reliance. A secure America means American-owned, American-crewed, American-built under the American flag. Support the Jones Act. Put America first.
Congress, tell President Trump, put Americans first. And the Jones Act waiver, paid for by the American Maritime Partnership.
Mitch Albom presents the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. Don't miss this nationwide commemoration Wednesday 4 till 6 p.m. on WJR. With Mitch and voices across the nation standing to salute our founding document. See it live at the Henry Ford in Greenfield Village. And don't miss it wherever you are. Share the spirit of America, Michigan's signature Declaration of Independence reading with Mitch Albom, Wednesday on 760 WJR.
Hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, here's a painful conversation. As the United States men's national team saw its World Cup dreams evaporate last night, we were all there watching, or many of us were watching, as Belgium beat them 4-1. Here to fill in the gaps and talk a little bit about what to me seemed to be the worst time to have the worst game of the series. Bad timing, bad game. We've got Anthony Bellino, AB, co-host of Sports Wrap with Lomas Brown Jr. and Anthony Bellino. Best sports talk there is. It's weeknights at 6 right here on WJR. AB, it was painful.
Well, Paul W., you know what it reminded me of? The Belgians looked like Paul W. Smith, and Team USA looked like Anthony Bellino on his first day at WJR. That's what it looked like. I mean, just completely outmatched, completely outclassed. I mean, here are the veterans that have been in that situation time and time and time again. And here are the Americans. Remember, the World Cup format expanded. We went up to, 32 teams in the knockout stage when that round never existed, right? So, you win in the knockout stage in the opening round, and everybody feels relatively good about that, but that never existed up until this year. So with more teams getting into the tournament, more teams into the group stage, it felt like maybe everybody was right. Maybe the competition was a little bit watered down. And then Team USA ran into an absolute buzzsaw last night.
Yeah, and I don't, this goes back to what we've talked about in the past, and I have. I'm starting to think that a team psychologist might be a good position in all these different sports, because there was something wrong with these players last night. Not just because they ran into clearly a better team, but they just didn't seem to have it like they have in the other games. Did you notice that, or is that just me thinking about it too much?
Well, I think, at this level and at this stage, most teams and organizations do have sports psychology. I mean, it's a part of everything at this point, but this looks to me like a team that was just completely overwhelmed. If anybody watches boxing, one of the consistent attributes about Mexican fighters is that they nonstop, they're going to come at you, right? It's in their bloodline. It's in their DNA. It's how they train. It's how they're raised. That's what the Belgians look like. I mean, they controlled every facet of the game through the midfield. Defensively, we got the ball, they took it from us, we got a goal, they scored right away to return the favor. It was like nothing we could do. And then Tim Ream, the poor goaltender, caught out there in no man's land. I mean, what is he doing? And then shanks the kick, stubs his toe.
I've
My
never
buddy
seen
Joe
a
Kinsey
foot drag in the grass like that when you're going for the kick, that he'd not had control of his foot.
My buddy Joe Kinsey from Clay Travis's Outkick the Coverage was tweeting last night that we need to deport that guy. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but, the poor guy, I mean, it was just all in all a collection of misery. And everybody has that game. I mean, go back to the Lions and the Washington Commanders, in the playoff game in Ford Field 2 seasons ago. Go out to San Francisco in the second half for the playoffs. Go to the Detroit Pistons most recently against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're going to have games where it just seems like nothing goes right. And as you mentioned, to start things off, it was a bad day to have a bad day for Team USA.
Yeah, very sad, very unfortunate. But I think, first of all, I guess I have to say, it was spectacular. They made it as far as they did. A lot of people didn't think they'd make it that far, but they did. That's not going to solve and put salve on all the wounds that we feel. But I do believe they did a great justice to the game of we call soccer, they call football for America. I think every time we do something like this, the sport is going to get stronger and stronger, finally, in America, as it has been in Europe for generations.
You know, and really the root cause, and I think you're right there. I think a lot of people are a lot more interested in Team USA now and a lot more interested in soccer, and they're probably watching Egypt and Argentina playing right now. Argentina had an awesome opportunity at a PK and they missed it. But, Egypt leads 1-0 in case anybody's wondering. But the root cause of this is the fact that American soccer is now pay for play like a lot of youth sports are here in this country. And that is not the way the rest of the world operates. The rest of the world operates on the club format where teams and clubs invest in youth players. And then when they turn pro, the pro teams pay the club a transfer fee for that product. And that's what keeps the system running here. We're starting to price kids out, and that is limiting, our crop of athletes to where, it's happening now. We're seeing it in AAU basketball. It doesn't happen as much in football, but travel baseball is the same way. If you want the best players, you have to make it accessible, right? And sometimes the best players come from some of the roughest parts because that's their only avenue to get out of their situation. That's the hunger. That's the driving force. And you have to be able to shine a spotlight on it. And if you don't, you're going to miss out on a crop of athletes that you might have been able to have.
That's a truly brilliant insight. I hadn't really thought about any of that at all. Not that I've given a great deal of thought to these things, but pay for play, and maybe we should be following the way they do it in Europe. It certainly worked well for them.
It works out very well. The problem here is that, the clubs want the parent that spends $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 because that's what pays for the coaches. Our system here is just broken. And I was traveling in Costa Rica a couple of years ago, and I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, how in the world do they field their national team? How do they do that? Like, look around here. Like, look at this jungle that we are in. How do you find the kid? But they do it. And they do a great job of doing it. And they find the best collection of athletes. Brazil, you go into the favela and there's a ball that's half flat and they're playing on concrete. Like, those kids that are born from that, those kids are playing with a different zest and a different drive and a different hunger. We got to find a better way to find those type of athletes to come join us for Team USA Soccer.
While I still have Anthony Bellino, the best, and co-host of Sports Wrap with Lomas Brown Jr., very quickly, a couple of quick notes. The Skubal thing seems so complicated, and today the Detroit News says trading Skubal is both power play and catch-22. Decision on whether he stays or goes will likely be a last-minute call. What do you think's happening there?
Well, if he stays and this team doesn't make the World Series, you're looking at a colossal failure on Scott Harris's part, right? Because that's if he stays, they have to go add some bats and they have to go add some bullpen help because the team desperately needs it. And then they have to be able to offer him some sort of contract that's going to make him want to stay long-term, not just through the end of this season. If you trade him, you have to get a return that's going to work. And teams know that. So other teams have the leverage to say, you know what? If I'm the Dodgers, if I'm the Mets, if I'm the Yankees, if I'm a team like Chicago and I have the money and I know that we might not even be playing baseball in 2027, why am I going to overpay for a guy in a trade where I know I can get him, in free agency when baseball returns? I think the Tigers are in a tough spot right now, Paul W. It's not as easy as people think.
All right. And one last one real quick. The great news that I think a great president, Kevin Guskiewicz, has decided to stay at MSU, picking MSU over Clemson. I think that's fabulous news, but it does throw a monkey wrench into Jay Batt, who was the athletic director. And because he got a special buyout deal if Guskiewicz left, now that Guskiewicz here, it says Kentucky now face a full $5 million buyout for the athletic director, Jay Batt. Is he going to stay?
No, he's gone. That's pocket lint there for Kentucky. They'll throw their wooden coins at Michigan State and move on. But for Michigan State, I don't know what Tom Izzo offered President Guskiewicz at dinner, but whatever was on that plate, I would like to have a plate too, Coach Izzo. Sign me up. This is a great get for Michigan State to help kind of solidify, steady the waters here, quit rocking the boat a little bit. Let's get everybody rowing in the same direction. This is a huge move for Michigan State moving forward.
I love that expression. I've never heard it. That's just pocket lint for them. My man,
$5 million
AB.
to Kentucky. Easy. It's like me and you, Paul W. Come on, we could do that.
Yeah, $5 million. What's the big deal? Anthony Bellino, co-host of Sports Wrap with Lomas Brown Jr. and AB, weeknights at 6 on WJR. That means tonight. Don't miss him. Monroe's own Anthony Bellino. Thank you, AB.
Thanks, Paul W. I'm going to go look for $5 million real quick.
Okay. When you find it, let me know. I want to find that patch as well. 1244 at WJR. You know, my friend Dr. Sal Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute can help you enjoy summer to the fullest with his non-surgical, non-invasive treatments for severe and chronic back, neck, and knee pain. Intra-disc neutrosis helps people with spinal stenosis, bulging and herniated discs, sciatica pain, and degenerative disc disease avoid spine surgery. And his Knee Restore RX helps those with osteoarthritis and meniscus tears avoid knee replacement without shots, pills, or downtime. And now, here are some real words from a real patient. I quote, "Agony is an understatement. Crippling nerve pain held me hostage. I went to the Nerve and Disc Institute as a desperate last resort. The relief was near instantaneous. After 2 treatments, my pain plummeted. This level of swift relief is priceless and liberating. An absolute 5-star lifesaver." End of quote. Here's what you do. Mention WJR in this month of July. Get a consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit. A consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit. Mention WJR. The Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and now Bad Axe. Call 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472. 586-416-DISC. You will be glad you did. 1246, 760, WJR.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Wine guards, everything from lawn to snow.
Hi, I'm Dan Weingartz. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingartz for expert advice. That's why we stand behind Cub Cadet Lawn and Garden Equipment. Designed with comfort, control, and versatility in mind, Cub Cadet makes it easy to take care of your lawn. With smooth handling, responsive steering, and powerful performance, these tractors and zero-turn mowers will help you easily handle all of your yard work. Built with exceptional value and proven reliability, Cub Cadet delivers the performance you need with the comfort you'll appreciate every time you mow.
At Weingart's.
From equipment, parts, repairs, and at-home service, we're here every step of the way. Stop by our stores where our experts can help you choose the right Cub Cadet for your lawn, or visit us online at weingarts.com during our Time to Mow event going on now. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingarts way.
Weingart's. Everything from lawn to snow.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now. 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
33 years, one mission. The 33rd Annual Benefit on the Bay returns Friday, August 28th at McRae Harbor in Harrison Township, and tickets are on sale now. Fully funded by Shelving.com, every dollar raised goes directly to the Capuchin Soup Kitchen right here in Metro Detroit. Supporting meal programs, substance use treatment, and more for those who need it most. Whether you're a business owner looking to put your brand in front of the right room, or you're simply looking for a standout summer evening, this is the event for you. Guests will enjoy live entertainment, dancing, silent and live auctions, and more, all on the water at Lake St. Clair. Tickets $95 and includes appetizers, dinner, beer and wine, and ballet. Seating is limited and must be purchased in advance. For tickets, sponsorship opportunities, and program advertising, visit Shelving.com. That's Shelving.com.
Shelving.com, Shelving.com. We rack your world.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Skyworks Equipment Rental. Big summer projects start with the right equipment. Whether you're a homeowner tackling a weekend job or a contractor managing a major project, Skyworks Equipment Rental has the lifts, loaders, excavators, and tools you need. Rent today or reserve ahead of time at skyworks-reliablерentals.com. An accident blocks your two right lanes on I-275 southbound after 8 Mile. You're slow from I-696. I-696 westbound just before Inkster. We have a multi-vehicle accident there. Thanks to tipster Laura of Laura and Devon and Laura. Still have that wreck on Telegraph Road at West Road. And traffic signals are malfunctioning on Ford Road in both directions at Inkster. Also on Oak Street at 2nd Street in Wyandotte. We've got a semi that struck the traffic lights there. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today with a high of 85. Right now it's 83 degrees, partly cloudy for tonight, a low of 67. More sun for tomorrow. We'll get up to 90. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
We turn to Jeff Manasso, Fox News correspondent extraordinaire, WJR contributor. I've watched a little of this. It's painful, but the 5-day preliminary hearing in the Charlie Kirk murder case, amazingly, this happened so long ago, it's crazy, but it kicked off yesterday with Charlie Kirk's widow facing Tyler Robinson for the first time in court. It's been fascinating, but painful for all of us to watch. And then it also is painful for me to remember there were people who cheered when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. These are the low points in America that I try to forget about, that there are some people who are so misguided in their beliefs. It's frightening. But be that as it may, Jeff Manasso has a clear picture of what's going on, and he shares it with us. Jeff, always a pleasure.
Hey, my friend, so good to be back with you. So almost a year since Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU, the preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing him continues in Provo, Utah. So prosecutors have been, they began yesterday laying out their case, presenting their evidence, including testimony from a former campus police officer who described the moments after Charlie Kirk was shot and investigators' discovery of what they believe was a sniper position on the campus rooftop. Testimony from a Utah investigator who walked through surveillance footage that prosecutors say tracks Robinson's movements before and after the shooting and links him to that silver Dodge Challenger. Evidence prosecutors say will include DNA, cell phone data, text messages, Discord messages, an alleged written confession left for Robinson's roommate/lover. They're using video footage to build a timeline of the alleged planning and execution of the attack. And the judge allowed prosecutors to use CCTV and surveillance evidence, rejecting one of the defense's many challenges in which they challenged some of the video evidence, though the judge had previously limited the use of at least one edited or enhanced compilation video, requiring prosecutors to rely on original source footage instead. So it continues. Prosecutors are expected to continue introducing testimony from investigators, DNA evidence that they say links Robinson to the rifle, statements from Robinson's roommate, additional video evidence, and later in the hearing, autopsy evidence. The defense will likely argue that the state has not established probable cause, although it is not required to present its own witnesses. Tyler Robinson is in court. The family members, as you mentioned, of Charlie Kirk, his wife, his widow, Erica, and his parents are also there and attending portions of the hearing. They did leave yesterday briefly during some of the more graphic testimony and video presentations. The family released a statement describing the proceedings as a painful reminder of their loss. This hearing is expected to last 5 days, and it's not about guilt or innocence. This is about establishing probable cause, and the judge, Tony Groff, he's later going to decide whether or not probable cause exists. It seems like there's a mountain of evidence. I'd be shocked if he said that there wasn't enough evidence, but if he finds that probable cause exists, then he's going to order Robinson to stand a trial. And remember, this is a death penalty case.
There is, just from what I've seen, and I haven't been watching it doggedly, I've watched a bit of it, there's plenty to prove that this is the guy. I mean, they've got the footage. It may be original source video, but it's enough to see. And you take that along with his note to his lover saying, I have a chance to kill this guy and I'm going to do it. I mean, Tyler Robinson, I can't even believe that he has not, almost a year, he's not even entered a plea. He's not had to enter not guilty or anything yet.
Well, if you're a defense attorney, you're going to say that that's the right move. They're probably holding whatever they can, close to their vest. Maybe that's the last bargaining chip that they might have to secure some sort of plea deal if he pleads guilty to take death penalty off the table. Who knows?
I don't know.
But if they're your defense attorneys, and you're Tyler Robinson, you want them throwing anything at the wall that sticks, and that's why they've been fighting the use of video. They've been fighting the use of hearsay evidence. They've been fighting the use of cameras in court. They wanted the prosecution team kicked off, wiped from the case because one of the prosecutors had a family member in the crowd that day, and so they're doing what you'd want them to do if they were defending you in a similar situation. They're dragging it out.
Jeff Manasso, Fox News correspondent extraordinaire, WJR contributor. It's always a pleasure, Jeff.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, and have a great rest of the day. We've got another hour to go. Stay with us on WJR.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Lloyd Jackson.
If you look up the literal definition of the word midwife, it means with woman. Yet most of us assume a midwife's job begins with a positive pregnancy test and ends the moment the baby is delivered.
No matter where you are in your journey, we don't only see birth or pregnancy. We see women across the lifespan. We just want to support women no matter where they are, whether it is just for an annual exam to talk about what's going on with their bodies, whether or not it's contraception. We are there to encourage, empower, educate, and support you in your healthcare decisions. It's not only pregnancy and birth.
That's Renee Sokolowski, one of a team of 4 certified nurse midwives at Corewell Health's new office in Clarkston, who says midwives not only help women transition into motherhood, but also into menopause in the later chapter of their lives.
With any phase in life, women go through so much. We are there to educate you and support you and empower you at each stage. Into menopause, a lot of things are changing. So we are there to educate, support, and give you that information again for you to make the best decisions for yourself.
If you're looking for a more holistic and collaborative approach to your annual exams or birth control, nurse midwife Renee explains what the first appointment may look like.
The first appointment is going to look like a get to know you. A midwife to me is a best friend with a lot of knowledge about your health care to educate you on all the options, and you pick what's best for you.
For more information on certified nurse midwives, call the Corewell Health OBGYN Clinic in Clarkston at 947-524-4950. I'm Lloyd Jackson for WJR Health Watch.
Custom built for Detroit. 760 WJR. This is the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR. Detroit. A Cumulus media station.
The Senate campaign is unraveling. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's the most pressure yet on Democrat Graham Platner to drop his run for Senate in Maine. One of his top supporters, Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, just publicly calling on him to drop out of the race. This following an ex-girlfriend's allegation of rape, which Platner denies, but it has spurred a cascade of opposition from fellow Democrats. New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen telling Fox earlier,
I think he needs to get out of the race, and the sooner the better, so that he can be replaced with somebody who can raise the issues in a way that doesn't address the other concerns that have been raised about Mr. Platner.
Senator Sanders says he has spoken with Platner about the best path forward in Maine and recommended he step aside in light of what Sanders calls these very serious allegations. Party officials in Maine have less than a week left to choose a different nominee in their bid to unseat Republican Senator Susan Collins. President Trump says U.S. sanctions on Turkey will be lifted after landing in the Turkish capital for a NATO summit.
These sanctions were placed on Turkey after it purchased a Russian missile defense system. The Turks were also kicked out of the F-35 fighter jet program.
We don't want to sanction friends. It's very simple.
President Trump says administration officials are working on the matter, and the U.S. may yet sell F-35s to Turkey. The NATO summit's being dominated by alliance attempts to bolster military power. Billions in arms deals already unveiled. Allies are being urged to come up with concrete plans to get military spending up to the 5% target announced last year.
Fox's Jonathan Savage in Ankara. The two-day NATO summit is expected to focus in part on Iran, which still claims to control traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, and maybe launching more attacks on commercial ships ahead of more talks with the U.S. At least 3 tankers hit by projectiles today. Oil prices now back over $70 a barrel. America is listening to Fox News.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years.
and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Hour number 2 of Focus. Glad we can all be together. And on this Tuesday, the 7th of July, lots going on with our Relentless Positive Radio. Stream us, podcast us, all at WJR.com. Get the free WJR app. Watch us on Facebook or YouTube pages, streaming our video live. And we're here with the team, Mike Parsons, Danielle Mason, Rich Luzinski, as you're on your way to making each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And by the way, thanks for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. You know, I try not to say stuff. You know, you guys, have I not corrected this? I don't say stupid anymore.
Right. You say bozo, and Danielle suggested genius as well.
I couldn't remember what Danielle's suggestion was, but genius, what a real genius. So I don't say stupid. And I try not to talk about programs that I think are just a waste of humanity. But I have to today. The program is called The View, which everyone is familiar with. It is a group of millionaires complaining about how tough life is and how bad things are as they sit there and make cumulatively millions of dollars sitting around and spewing oftentimes hate. So now this bozo, this genius, Sonny Hostin, one of the co-hosts of The View, has been quoted as saying, and I went back and found it and couldn't believe it. She said it. I feel unsafe in neighborhoods flying U.S. flags. What kind of a ridiculous statement is that? Do you know what kind of neighborhoods Sonny Hostin is walking in? I wouldn't say that they're real dangerous neighborhoods, given her income level and level of quote-unquote success. But what a thing to say about your country. I feel unsafe in neighborhoods flying U.S. flags. I've got a flag up all the time at my house. In our neighborhood in Florida, everybody has a flag on their mailbox. They were a gift from somebody who lives there with obviously enough money to give everybody an American flag. I feel pride when I enter an area and see an American flag, let alone several. I just don't get it. Well, you're white, Paul. That's right. I hit the lottery. I was born a white guy in the United States of America. I'm assuming Sonny Hostin was born in America. I don't know anything about her, but she was lucky too, wasn't she? There's a lot going on here. I don't even have to bring up again World Cup soccer. God bless those guys, but they just, it was bad timing. I mean, they had their worst game at the worst time possible.
Well, and Paul, we were talking about how maybe the overturning of Balogun's red card might light a fire under them. I mean, they looked way more fired up than the United States looked.
Well, that was the thing I said about the sports or team psychologist. How could you not be up for that game? But they didn't look up at all.
No, I mean, I don't know if they had more than one shot on goal. That penalty kick that went in.
Well, in the beginning, it was 0 shots to 6,
right
from the beginning. And it's kind of like when I've watched our Red Wings, I said, guys, You have to shoot.
Right.
You have to try to score. They're not going to just roll a score in for you. Well, I don't want to talk about it. Just too upsetting. Some people may be entitled to $40 a day outage credit for the power outage. So check that out. Go online. Look at the, I don't know, the Michigan Public Service Commission should have information. And I assume you can go to MichiganPublicServiceCommission.com or something, or .org or .gov or something.
Yeah, and I know some rebates are automatic, but I don't know if all rebates. So it's
I don't know
worth
if that one is.
It's
I
worth
don't know.
looking into.
It's, $40 a day. It doesn't make up for power outage, but you may as well get as much as you probably should or can get. I think it's great news that President Guskiewicz is staying at MSU. Some very good news there. And AB said something about Tom Izzo. I know Tom Izzo is happy that he's staying. I don't know if they had dinner together and he talked him into staying. I don't know any details.
Yeah, I don't know any. I know that Tom Izzo came out very strongly after President Guskiewicz.
He was mad.
Yeah, and then Jay Batt left.
Right.
And it seems like the reason President Guskiewicz wanted to leave in the first place was a rift between him and some of the trustees.
The board. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that he posted a letter, and some of the trustees released statements the other day that maybe that rift is, I wouldn't say it's healing, but maybe all sides are now, willing to work together. And I'm sure we'll have President Guskiewicz on in the near
we loved
future.
him. He was always a great guest, and we were stunned. We were up at Mackinac when he was scheduled to be on the show, and they said, "Well, he won't be able to make it." And we go, "Why?" Well, because he's leaving.
Right?
Like, what?
And you know what? I mean, I was shocked, pleasantly shocked yesterday when I saw the news. At first, I thought it wasn't real, but then it was confirmed. So yeah, I don't know what happened. We'll get the trustee side later on today, but. Yeah, it was nice to be shocked by some good news for a change.
That is the truth. That is the truth. All right, couple of things here. I don't know how to do this. Kim usually schools me on this, and she always says, "Ask Mike and Danielle." So I'm asking Mike and Danielle. I came upon this thing. Maybe she sent this. I don't know. Real luxuries of adult life.
Okay.
Do you guys agree? And you, Danielle, when are they going to get Danielle's camera fixed?
It's a good question.
Man, oh man, this is going on a week or two now. All right. Anyway,
I'll move the camera back and forth.
No, it's too hard. I get nauseous.
You'll get
when you
dizzy.
do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Real luxuries of adult life. I guess you can just say agree or disagree. Living 10 minutes from work.
Agree.
Yeah,
I
agree. I live about 15 minutes from work. And when I first started working here, I lived like a half hour away. So yes, definitely.
I used to walk to work at WABC in Manhattan. That was a blessing.
That's a luxury, except for if you're the guy they call because you live the closest. Anytime there's a problem.
Number 2, living 5 minutes from the gym. This one does not apply to me.
I'll let you know if I ever join a gym.
How about having quiet neighbors?
Yeah,
we've been blessed. We have quiet neighbors. That's good.
And when you really appreciate that is 4th of July.
Yeah. Oh boy. Number 4, real luxuries of adult life: having money left at the end of the month and investing it.
Absolutely.
Ooh, absolutely. Number 5, peace at home.
Yes,
of course.
Agree.
Drinking coffee without rushing.
Yes. Agree.
Love my weekend morning cup of coffee.
Real luxuries of adult life: sleeping with a clear conscience.
Oh yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I think even people who shouldn't have a clear conscience sleep with clear conscience. Number 8, laughing with people who truly get you.
Oh,
absolutely.
Sure.
I love that. I love working with you guys because generally you're laughing with me and only once in a while laughing
Right.
at me.
Just to keep you honest.
Real luxuries of adult life: traveling every year. I love traveling.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, especially being able to afford to travel. That's the real luxury.
Waking up without an alarm. That's a luxury, but I haven't been able to live that luxury.
Not even recently? With your change?
I still set the alarm. I set it for much later. I used to get up at 4. I get up at 10 now. And even then I'm going, oh, is that the alarm?
Right.
Because I still go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning like I used to, but I used to live on 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Anyway, Number 11, having a body that doesn't hurt today. You guys don't have to worry about that. You're too young.
It happens, especially if I get gout.
It hurts.
or as Mike Feasy used to say, the gout.
Yes.
Real luxuries of adult life. Number 12, owning your time on weekends. I've worked toward that but you have to learn how to say no, which is the next one. Saying no without guilt.
Right.
I still struggle with that one.
Yeah, I think people always struggle with that one.
Not checking your bank balance before small purchases.
Yeah, that does sound luxurious,
doesn't it? And finally, feeling calm about the future.
Yeah, it would be a luxury for sure.
You don't feel calm about the future?
Depends on the day.
Danielle?
Not about my future, no.
Well, we are talking about your own future, but we would like it if you felt calm about our future as well.
Yes.
I feel calm about your guys' future.
Well, what's wrong with your future? Come on.
It's just there. We'll get there eventually.
Oh, boy.
Maybe.
Do you feel unsafe?
No.
Walking in neighborhoods flying U.S. flags?
No.
Good.
I feel unsafe walking in neighborhoods flying the Jolly Roger.
Do you see many neighborhoods around where they're flying the Jolly Roger?
No, because I
do
avoid
a show
them.
From there.
Yeah, I avoid them.
All right. Record interest levels in solo travel reported for 2026, and parasitic illness hits Detroit area hardest. And that's on a national story. That was in the Detroit News, but a national story says Michigan is the hardest hit state with this rapidly spreading parasite. What the heck? All right, we got to go. Got a lot going on still. We have a full 45 minutes left in this hour. 1:15 at WJR.
Hey there, WJR listeners. Chris Alberta here at Principium. Listen, your bucket of money, that precious little gem that's taken you a lifetime to accumulate, it's been growing. And if you're anything like all of my clients, you were worried that it might not be enough to supplement your retirement, especially if the markets have a downturn. All these incredible investment and insurance tools these days, they've been designed to address specific problems and concerns. But most folks I see every week, they have the wrong stuff. You know why? Because no one's taking the time to actually invest in them and diagnose the actual problem, the actual concern. Yeah, look, my process, it's laborious, but it's worth it. The results and the peace of mind are a byproduct of us learning together. If you're retired or nearing retirement, it's time for you to dig in with me. We can increase the reward and we can decrease the risk. It's a win-win. So stop going to steak dinners, free steak dinners offered by financial salespeople. Invest in yourself with me at my office on your timetable with zero pressure. Call me today, Chris Alberta at Principium, 1-888-800-8949.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
Hi, it's Paul W. here from Metro Cars. When planning a wedding, every detail matters, including transportation. Metro Cars provides premium wedding transportation throughout Southeast Michigan, offering luxury black car service for the bride and groom, as well as group transportation options for wedding parties, family members, and guests. With a fleet that includes luxury sedans, SUVs, executive vans, minibuses, and motor coaches, Metro Cars can accommodate transportation needs for intimate ceremonies and large-scale celebrations alike. For more than 35 years, MetroCars has been trusted for professionalism, reliability, and exceptional service. To learn more about wedding transportation packages, visit metrocars.com or call 800-456-1701. That's metrocars.com or 800-456-1701. MetroCars, elevating your wedding day from the first pickup to the final farewell.
Are you ready to experience the sights and sounds of Scotland right here in Michigan? The St. Andrews Society of Detroit invites you to North America's longest continuously running Highland Games. The historic weekend kicks off Friday, July 31st at 5 p.m. with the Ceilidh, an adults-only night under the big tent featuring 6 incredible Celtic bands, dancing, and great refreshments. Then grab the whole family on Saturday, August 1st, starting at 8 a.m. for the 177th Annual Highland Games at Greenmead Historical Park in Livonia. Witness epic heavy athletics like the famous caber toss, hear the powerful massed pipe bands, and watch world-class Highland dancers compete. There's amazing food, unique Celtic vendors, and the Wee Bairns children's area for the little ones. Best of all, your attendance supports Michigan's oldest benevolent organization in giving back to the community. Don't miss out. Get your tickets and full schedule today at highlandgames.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oh, Ben Tyrod, what are you going to do?
I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on RockAuto.com before you can even finish this commercial.
He's right. RockAuto.com. Parts when you need them.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by NECA, IBEW Local 58. Count on the Powering Michigan team of IBEW 58 skilled electricians and NECA signatory contractors for your next commercial, industrial, public, or residential construction project. The best electricians, the best electrical contractors, period. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. I-696 westbound just before Inkster. We have a multi-vehicle accident there. Midday construction closes your 2 right lanes on I-75 southbound at Clay Street. You're slow from Kniff Street. That should wrap up by 3 p.m. tomorrow. Traffic signals are malfunctioning on Ford Road in both directions at Inkster. And signals have gone dark on Oak Street at 2nd Street and Wyandotte. A semi struck the traffic lights at that intersection. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today with a high of 85. Right now it's 83 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, a low of 67. More sun for tomorrow, a high near 90. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Wednesday on JR Morning, we'll talk with Kristen McDonald-Rivet. She's got a plan to stop public officials from using their position for insider trading. And it's Wednesday, so we'll put on our dancing shoes for Name That Tune right here from 6 until 9 a.m. on WJR, WJR.com, and the always free WJR app.
It's about 8:22 p.m. in Ankara, Turkey, where President Trump is just now meeting with the folks there and in front of their beautiful palace. They just went inside, and it's a big deal. That's why we've asked Peter Meyer, former congressman and Army veteran, to weigh in on the president being in Turkey for the NATO summit and how important it is. We forget how important Turkey is, and apparently what a good friend they've been to us, Peter.
They are an ally. They are a treaty ally. They're a member of NATO, and the only Muslim majority member of NATO. So they are very significant in that regard. They have been helpful in some places in the Middle East, though they are also, there are plenty of places where their interests and our interests diverge. There's still Turkish troops in Cyprus, which is also a NATO member. There's occasional, continuing friction between the Turks and the Greeks, 2 NATO members. And, the Turks also ran afoul of the U.S. and NATO during the first term of the Trump administration when they bought S-400, missile defense systems from Russia, which was a pretty serious concern when it came to integrating, Russian military hardware into NATO systems. So that's a little bit of the background. They've obviously, there's been a pretty sincere improvement in the relationship with Donald Trump. He has a very strong personal relationship with with Erdogan over in Turkey. But it's complicated for sure. Our interests are very aligned in Syria. They diverge in Iran, and the Turks and the Israelis also have an incredibly contentious relationship with Erdogan wanting to reestablish kind of Turkish hegemony throughout the region and kind of reprise a bit of that Ottoman Empire swagger. So let's just say it's good that he has a good relationship with Trump.
Peter Meyer, former congressman, Army veteran, weighing in. And there are going to be people that he's going to come. I don't know if he can avoid coming face to face with foes. I mean, it'll be fascinating to watch his reaction when he comes face to face with Spain's prime minister, who has called the U.S. war in Iran, quote, illegal, absurd, and cruel. Plus, the president's going to run into a few people, allies that decline to allow U.S. forces to use military bases or overflight rights during the operation, as well as by those political statements criticizing the strikes. He doesn't generally handle those kinds of things particularly well, meaning he's not going to BS them like they're best buddies, I guess is the best way to put it, which is what a lot of people like about this president.
Safe to say it will not be kumbaya on all fronts. And I think this is really where Mark Rutte, who's the Dutch politician, he's the 14th Secretary General of NATO, he has established a very close relationship with President Trump, and I think that has been helpful because you need a kind, friendly, cooperative face because the Trump administration has some, as you pointed out, some very real and significant beefs with NATO members, and this all goes back to many of those NATO members also not meeting their defense as a percent of GDP commitments. The Spanish are god-awful at that, and their politics are probably second only to the Irish in terms of what many would view as contemptibility. The Spanish government was very close with Maduro in Venezuela. There's a lot of corruption investigations that are ongoing as a part of that. But so there are legitimate beefs, and then there's other beefs like the strange tension he's developed with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, accusing her of wanting to take a selfie with him. That whole thing is very bizarre and weird.
Yeah.
I hope that there's a plan on behalf of the NATO states, that maybe some of this is just setting the table of like, hey, don't expect me to come in warm and friendly. He's going to be loaded for bear. That doesn't mean that you can't have a very positive summit as a result of that. It just means, you guys have to be coming in looking to make deals, looking to be conciliatory. If you're coming in, with arms crossed and fists clenched, this is probably not gonna be good for the transatlantic alliance.
Real quick, Peter Meyer with us, former congressman and Army veteran. We always appreciate his opinion on all of these things, his learned opinion. You mentioned about the Italian prime minister and the president saying, "Oh, she couldn't wait. She kept begging to get a picture with me." And she said, that's just not true. I don't beg, and the Italian people don't beg. Has she gotten over that? Have they mended the fences over this, or is this still going to be a problem?
I think it was like 48 hours ago. He was still kind of trash talking her online, and then
this is an ally.
Today,
this was she didn't. I don't know. She didn't work against him, did she?
No, and that's also the ironic thing is she's a conservative Italian prime minister. I mean, they were not helpful when it came to some elements of the campaign against Iran, but otherwise, I mean, she's definitely not in the staunch anti-Trump camp. She's been one of the friendlier voices and friendlier faces among NATO countries, which again, knowing Italy, very surprising. But I think earlier today, Donald Trump was asked about her, and he said, "Oh no, we're friends." So we'll see.
Oh man, what a time we live in! What a time we live in. All right, anything else, Peter? Before I let you go.
No, if it's like in Michigan. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute, it'll change. I think Trump's attitude can be very similar towards our allies.
Hey, quick take, Peter. This show that you probably don't watch, I certainly don't, The View, which ABC should be embarrassed by, but Sonny Hostin, one of the co-hosts, a multimillionaire, no doubt, like all of them, She said, I feel unsafe in neighborhoods flying U.S. flags. What do you say about something like that? How do you react?
That's insane, delusional. And she should take a very long, hard look in the mirror, maybe read the Constitution, maybe find reasons to love this country and realize that those who also love it share a lot more in common with her than maybe she thinks, even if they are of a different political party. But it's a kind of a sad reflection on polarization and also just the way in which democratic pride in the U.S., has plummeted over the last decade and a half. And that's not good. That's not healthy. We shouldn't wish that.
So
we should all be
beautifully
grateful
put.
for this wonderful country.
You were absolutely right. And boy, you said it beautifully. Former Congressman, Army veteran, Peter Meyer. Thank you, Peter. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
It's our pleasure as we continue. Focus with Paul W. Smith on a Tuesday afternoon right here on WJR.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
These days, it feels like everything costs more, and healthcare is no different. But what many people don't realize is that rising hospital costs, prescription prices, and more people needing care all affect what Michigan families pay. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is ready to help by lowering drug costs, focusing on preventive care, and improving quality while reducing unnecessary costs. Because affordability matters to everyone, and progress is happening. Learn more about what Blue Cross is doing to help at mibluedaily.com/affordability.
Too many women can relate to Lisa's story. Maybe you can too. She said the pain in her abdomen was horrible, not normal. Her doctor said it was just bad periods. Searching for answers, Lisa turned to Michigan Medicine. There she met specialists who looked deeper and discovered not only stage 4 endometriosis, but also a rare appendix cancer. Then treated both diseases in a single life-saving surgery. Lisa found her answer at Michigan Medicine. Find yours at michiganswers.org/start.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, dozing state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before, he'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, Attorney General, Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
This is Mark Snethkamp of the Snethkamp Automotive family. We've served Michigan customers for over 100 years. We opened our first dealership in 1926. 4 generations later, Snethkamp is still the name to trust when buying your next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. Visit us during the Make This the Summer Sales event, happening now at one of our 4 locations: Highland Park, Gaylord, Midland, or Redford.
Snethkamp, Metro Detroit's original. Snethkamp. Snethkamp.
Scrolling with Haley. I am Haley Karania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Never miss
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose
of Deets.
the Daily Dose of Deets.
Put the phone away. Silence notifications. Drive as if the people you love most are sharing the road with you, because they are.
It's Can't Miss Radio, the Daily Dose of Deets.
The moment new information is released, some people rush to certainty. For some, every unexplained object becomes proof of extraterrestrials. For others, every report is dismissed as nonsense.
First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz.
None of this means we should be hostile toward the Chinese people or Chinese Americans who contribute enormously to the United States. This is about the actions of the Chinese government and the very real national security concerns raised by intelligence and law enforcement officials.
Weekdays at 9 on WJR. You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Relentless positive radio, and this is as positive as it gets. We were devastated when we heard that Michigan State University President Kevin Guskiewicz had decided to leave East Lansing and join Clemson University. And then we were shocked to hear, first released, I think, by Clemson, and then backed up by Michigan State, that he is not leaving. He is staying. I have to assume the chair of the MSU Board of Trustees, Brianna Scott, is as happy as the rest of us. Madam Chair, welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you so much for having me, and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. Tell me how this all came about.
Well, let me say it's been a journey here.
For all of us.
It really has. I would say that, over the past several weeks, the university community has experienced a fluctuation of emotions, right? And when Kevin made the initial decision to leave, obviously I was as brokenhearted as anyone. But my primary focus as the chair, really, I had to kind of think about what got us to that position that we were unfortunately in at that time. And it really caused a lot of introspection for not just myself, but other board members. And I really thought it important at that point in time, as we were getting hundreds and thousands of emails to us, to really listen to what the Spartan community had to say and to always act in the best interest long-term for Michigan State. And so while, there was like this whole public scrutiny on the board and what happened to bring us to that point, and really a lot of the focus was on his departure, his impending departure, I really took some time as the board chair. I felt it important for me to kind of behind the scenes keep the lines of communication open with President Guskiewicz. I continue to have candid and private conversations with him almost daily, in which I wasn't really trying to apply any pressure, but to let him understand that we understood and that he did have a contingent of the board that really wanted him to reflect on the decision and what got him here, and to really do some soul searching during this time. And I am so grateful that he did that.
Yeah,
So,
we all are.
Yeah, here we go.
It's fabulous. It was unexpected, and that he and his wife really seem committed to what they can accomplish at MSU. And I love the fact that he looked at it and said, I haven't done these things that I need to and want to and think I can do, so that he will remain. He says his change of heart came following several weeks of productive conversations about the governance challenges he had raised previously. And I am suspecting from what you're saying, with the MSU Board of Trustees Chair, Brianna Scott, a lot of those conversations were indeed with you.
Yes, they were. We explored what in his mind it would take for him to have a very supportive environment where he would feel empowered to lead. I think his biggest frustration is he felt that he was not empowered by the board previously. And, from what I gathered, it was clear to me that while he had a term sheet with Clemson, that he still was kind of exploring these things. The more that he was giving me time to talk to him, the more I felt maybe he really was thinking about this. I certainly wasn't getting my hopes up. We were going full speed ahead with what we needed to do as a university. But, I made it clear to him, as did some of the other board members that I think were reaching out to him during this time, that he's got the majority of the board, that we are fully prepared to make those structural and cultural changes necessary for him to thrive. And that we wanted he and Amy and his family to remain at Michigan State, and that we were grateful, that he was even deliberately reflecting on, things that could potentially allow him to stay if he were to even go there in his mind, right? And we wanted him to know we were going to hold each other accountable, as a board. We were going to make sure that the micromanaging, the undermining, the interference, and all of those things would cease. And those that are not going to follow our governance principles, we were going to hold them accountable. There would be a clear line of demarcation between board oversight and administrative management that we were going to set out, and that the personal agendas of individual trustees were not going to supersede the collective mission of the university any longer. And we were pretty clear on that. I think he saw some of that in the way that things happened when we were in our board retreat, and perhaps that gave him that initial belief that maybe those positive changes would actually last. And I also think that the outpouring of the community, starting with, Coach Izzo and all of the other alum and donors that reached out to him, and those that were part of the I Heart Kevin G and Amy G campaign, also had a huge influence, as well as faculty and staff and all of the others that emailed him over the time. And I think it all gave him a lot to think about, and he recognized how loved he was and how people really appreciated the great leadership he had been providing to us.
A lot of people talk about Tom Izzo's influence, but they should remember Lupe Izzo too, as the director of the Izzo Legacy Foundation. She had a big hand in this as well, and I wanted to give her credit, along with, of course, Tom Izzo. Let me ask you this from a business standpoint, as we're speaking with the chair of the MSU Board of Trustees, Brianna Scott. Some people are saying, well, yeah, they're going to pay him $2 million. The fact is, he isn't going to make $2 million. His salary is $1.5 million. Now, you offered him $2 million. How did $1.5 million come out of this?
Well, I'll tell you what, when he called to let me know that he was leaving to head to Clemson, he was very clear to me, and even leading up into that moment, as I was trying to convince him to not take any offers that he had, that it was never about the money for him at all. Like, the money was not, and I think we knew that when he took the Clemson job after we had offered to pay him $2 million, and he went
and they were
somewhere where he would make less.
Yeah.
And then when it came to the conversation that we had when he reached out to me Sunday night, he was clear with that again. Like, this isn't about the money to me. I am really happy not taking the $2 million. I am fine. Let's negotiate. But I don't need the $2 million to stay. This is really where I want to complete my legacy. And as you can see, he came back for 1.5, which was less in the total comp that he would have gotten from Clemson.
Wow. This is just a great story. I got to tell you, Madam Chairman, we don't hear great stories like this very often. Congratulations to you and all of the green and white within the sound of my voice. And WJR is proud to be the voice of Michigan State University. God bless you, Brianna Scott.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on, and go green.
Go white, and we'll do it again. That is Brianna Scott, chair of the MSU Board of Trustees, and what a great story, what a great turnaround. Michigan State University President Kevin Guskiewicz is still, and will therefore continue to be, the president of MSU. Paul W. Smith here in Focus on WJR at 144. You know, a lot of folks are going to need to replace their roof this summer with all these storms going on. You found out, unfortunately, you have a leak or have some weaknesses. There are roofing companies out there that skip over the most important part of the roofing process, and that's not good. You need to have somebody who's paying attention to the attic ventilation. You see, if your attic doesn't have proper air circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and wood rot, leaks in the winter, not to mention summer attic temperatures reaching as high as 160 degrees or higher. And this is going to cause your AC to work harder and mean higher energy bills. This is one of the reasons I like to recommend Victor's Home Solutions to you. Their process begins with a thorough inspection of your attic. They know that if the ventilation isn't right, the roof will be built on a shaky foundation. The first step in the Victor's process is a 21-point roof inspection that includes a very thorough inspection of your attic and attic ventilation. Every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan. That's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Not only do they have the best installation crews in Michigan, but they also make sure the roofs they install are going to last because the ventilation will be right. Call for your free roof inspection and estimate today. It's that easy number, 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS, VICTORS, 866-VICTORS. Or, of course, you can book an appointment online at victors.com, victors.com, or 866-VICTORS. Call them. 146 WJR.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, is the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now. 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
America 250, Michigan made.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder.
Imagine the sky in the early 1900s. Airplanes were new, fragile machines, mostly flown by daring test pilots and military men. Passenger flights were almost unheard of, and many people still doubted that flying would ever be safe or common. Almost every pilot was a man. People said flying was too dangerous, too complicated, and too bold for a woman. Ohio might have had the Wright brothers and their famous early flights, but Michigan would soon have something just as historic. the first woman in the United States to become a licensed pilot. One young woman growing up along the shores of Lake Michigan near Arcadia refused to accept limits, so much so that she was the first woman to cross the English Channel in an airplane, inspiring future generations of girls to study math, science, and aviation. Michigan's own Harriet Quimby.
America 250, Michigan made. From 760 WJR.
This Dr. Robert Livernois' America 250, Michigan made is sponsored by Bregman Family Wines. Get a true taste of Leelanau at BregmanFamilyWines.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oh, that grinding and squealing. What are you going to do about that?
Time for new brakes. The chain store never has what I need.
No worries. Go to RockAuto.com for name brands at lower prices.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Midday construction closes your two right lanes on I-75 southbound at Clay Street. You're slow from Kniff Street. That should wrap up by 3 tomorrow. Traffic signals are malfunctioning on Ford Road in both directions at Inkster. Signals have gone dark on Oak Street at 2nd Street and Wyandotte. A semi struck the traffic lights at that intersection. And the railway gate on Beck Road between M14 and 5 Mile. Still stuck in the down position. Please use Sheldon Road as a detour. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today, a high of 85. Right now, it's 84 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, a low of 67. More sun for tomorrow, a high near 90. I'm Rich Fluzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit Autolaw.com. That's Autolaw.com.
Well, 2 hours slipped right by here with our relentless positive radio. Glad to have you tuned in as you are on your way to making each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and we thank you for choosing to be with us as well. An exhibit featuring original founding era documents is going to be on display beginning Thursday through July 26th at the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation to commemorate America's 250th birthday. It's a free exhibit, Freedom Plane National Tour, Documents That Forged. Traveling to only 8 cities nationwide as part of America's 250th anniversary commemoration, Dearborn is one of them, according to a press release from the Henry Ford. The artifacts will be transported aboard a Boeing 737 that has been outfitted for the tour. So that sounds interesting. Look into it there at the Henry Ford. You can also go online to thf.org, like thehenryford.org/freedom plane. All right, very good. I saw a politician singing the praises of Cuba. They try to say Cuba's better than America. They really do. And I'm sure they've never been there, as I have been. And Kim and I took listeners to Cuba a few years ago, and it's lovely. But what's lovely are the people, not the government of Cuba. The people are the ones that suffer every time there's any kind of action that goes on. The leaders don't suffer. It's the individual people who are lovely. But anyway, for that, whoever that was, a congressperson saying how great Cuba is compared to America, Cuba was hit with a nationwide blackout at the beginning of the week amid an ongoing energy crisis. Cuba's energy ministry said the island's electrical grid suffered a total collapse.
Third time this year, I guess.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It says that they've experienced several nationwide blackouts over the past several years. And the point is, look, we've had blackouts. We've got people who still don't have power. And I don't know if they even still have little battery-operated transistor radios to be listening to us. Thank you if you are. And for the rest, we should all have transistor radios around somewhere. I'm sure we do somewhere, but I'm not sure where. But anyway, we are so much better than Cuba. Just go, and you'll find out what I'm talking about. I mean, come on, these people. Whether it's the idiots the bozos on The View.
Very good.
Those geniuses on The View who feel really uncomfortable when they see the American flag.
Kim will be proud of you.
Neighborhood. Yeah. Anyway, Super El Nino. You know what that is? You know, it's these are hard things to follow, but Super El Nino, they say, could be worse than anticipated. I wasn't anticipating, but forecasters warn that the tropical Pacific Ocean could reach the upper echelon of intensity by the time the weather cycle peaks in late fall to early winter, making this event one of the strongest since the 1950s. I don't even know what I just read. What does that mean?
It sounds like the El Nino is going to go high up into the atmosphere and probably carry further. I know that past El Ninos have affected us here in Michigan. It's just big rain events that survived their trip over the continental United States, and they dump a bunch of rain on us and on east.
Here's something on the screen. LA County to have the nation's highest sales tax. If you needed any other reason not to go to LA County, I don't need any reason. Very quickly, and I'm going to ask Danielle to explain this to me. Maybe you can, Mike, but the clipping economy. Members of Gen Z are becoming multimillionaires by posting videos of other people to social media. The new industry marks a shift in traditional marketing strategies. Can you explain that to me, one of you?
No.
My guess is what people are doing is they're probably stealing.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it. Just tell me how you really feel, Danielle. A one-word answer.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Try the veal.
Yeah, my guess is that people are trying to monetize their social media accounts by stealing other people's videos and posting them as their own.
And they become millionaires doing that?
I would say a small portion. Probably most people who try don't make any money off of it. But if you have a big page, you got to keep feeding the algorithm. I could see people resorting to that.
Oh, they're just making little clips of other people's videos and then posting them and making money.
But how do you post something and make money?
You screenshot it and then you edit it your own way, and then you post it on your account.
All right, we'll have a meeting.
It gets views.
We'll have a meeting, and if we make $1 million, we'll split it 3 ways. All right, we got to run. JR Afternoon with Ryan Armani, hosted by Marie Osborne. I know you're ready to go, Marie.
I am indeed, and we're going to talk to Paul Gross about that El Nino.
Oh, good. Paul's the best. He may have retired, but he's still the best.
We
haven't talked to him in a while, have we? No. All right. Be sure to stay tuned because it's coming up next as you stand by for news. And then, of course, Marie Osborne in for Ryan Armani and JR Afternoon. You go on out, make it a great rest of the afternoon as you go on to make each and every day count, because as you know, each day is a gift. And we'll continue tomorrow morning or afternoon, noon to 2, right after the stroke of noon, with our Relentless Positive Radio.